Ninja Gaiden Black Chapter 4, Imperial City Infiltration. We made it to the main area that we'll be spending most of this game in. You know, no Zeppelin crash is going to stop us. And here is example number 2 of Ryu Hayabusa making a badass entrance. Grinding down telephone wires with your fucking wrists.
And backflipping under the thing.
It's even more ridiculous, like, when you use, like, the classic Ninja Gaiden costume, because he has red cloth armbands, so it's even more absurd that it's not just shredding it to pieces.
You don't even get metal ones?
No, like these are the metal ones right here.
Wait, where did the forest go?
The forest? Oh, it was far back in the distance.
Oh, okay.
You know, that was like, I don't know, I'm gonna guess 4 towers away. But yeah, this is a little path heading to Tyron. This is definitely like a big reason for why this game is so fondly liked, because of its level design.
You must go now to Han's Bar. You should be able to spot it easily due to its garish neon sign. Han's Bar is a well-known watering hole, as well as the center of Vigor's underground intelligence. There you may find clues about Doku's whereabouts.
Glad to have Ionic still, like, giving us directions, especially since this, you know, this is like a whole, like, town with, like, different zones, and you can go, you know, once you've unlocked places, a fair number of different ways. I gotta say, I'm impressed at at whoever the architect was that was able to, like, get those 2 spheres to, like, just float in midair with nothing to support them. Also, double decapitating flying swallow. That's always satisfying.
I never noticed the flowing spheres before now.
Well, you'll see why they're like that much later on, but this body here has, I'd say, our final essential move of the game. The guillotine throw.
Oh, yeah.
Yep, this is always like a good move to have if you, let's say, you get frustrated at yourself if you get caught by an enemy's grab. You can just do this on them instead and, like, feel immediate catharsis.
That was pretty spectacular that you just whipped both of them into the wall from point-blank range.
Yeah, and even better is that, like, the guillotine throw is extra effective when there is a wall in front of you, because they do take extra damage from the impact. But yeah, the way that it is done is that you jump at an enemy, and when in close range, you press both the jump and light attack buttons together. You know, so A and X, or X and square if you're playing Sigma. And it's kind of, I guess, a bit tricky to kind of wrap around at first, just because it is both a specific timing and also 2 buttons that have to be pressed that you kind of normally wouldn't. But once you realize that even when you're on the ground, you can press those 2 buttons together, and Ryu will actually do a jump that homes in on an enemy. So it helps even more in, like, kind of lining it up.
Yeah, it's a lot easier to do than something than the timing would make it sound. You do it accidentally a lot too.
It is, especially because of how, you know, part of its timing being that you have to do it while mid-jump and right next to them. You know, you don't have a dedicated grab button that you can, like, use from, like, any position, although considering how many more, like, usable buttons there are these days, like on controllers, you know, like, you know, past the Xbox Originals controller, you know, you could easily have, like, they could have at some point just made a dedicated grab button. It's trying to just get that essence a little bit closer.
When in doubt, look to the color blue for the path.
So, before games like Uncharted, I guess, like, kind of unified the game industry and saying, hey, use yellow to guide the player, like, Team Ninja decided, now we'll make it blue. And it works pretty well. I mean, like, once you kind of read that, you know, the important, like, kind of places to look for or to traverse are blue. So that you kind of don't forget after a while.
This was the one that I saw after I read that. I didn't know that one about that you just did about flipping over the edge right in front of it. I think I had to use a guide to find that.
Yeah, it's a bit hard because there aren't that many situations, I think, in the game where you would actually need to run up to the edge of a platform and then, like, flip over onto its edge. Because and that is, like, on its own a pretty handy feature, because it would be frustrating otherwise to just, like, accidentally run off the edge without grabbing onto anything.
Speaking of stuff that they do to make this less frustrating, I am very thankful that Ryu's training has given him the strength that he needs to not have to worry about falling off of ledges and wires no matter how long he hangs on for.
Yep, like, fucking Gaiden ain't shit on him. Like, he doesn't need a stamina bar.
Oh, he could hang up there for days.
Yeah. He's a ninja. It's the best explanation.
He could sit up there and order a pizza guy will come. He'll never find him because ninjas are stealthy.
This right here is a kunai scroll that you probably wouldn't get if you knew where you were going.
Tyron is a city divided by multiple gates. If you search, you will no doubt find the secret to opening this gate as well.
Because this one is triggered by you checking that big ornate door, like without activating the switch for it beforehand. So it was kind of a surprise to me, because because it made me have to kind of go back through these levels again to make sure that I wasn't missing anything.
Yay, new weapons. Kinda.
Yep. So we have the dragon sword, the lunar, and now, well, also the wind sword, but that's just another sword. But now the nunchucks. Like, 3 distinct weapons, and these 3 weapons together, I'd say, are the reason why it's even possible for someone to eventually get through the first chapter of Ninja Gaiden Black, because on Master Ninja. Because on the highest difficulty, you start with all 3 weapons right there, and the dragon sword is actually, at that stage in the game, less effective than the other 2. Hey look, we get to see the old man in person. Although his store, you know, it goes to the same menu as always. Yeah, well, I decided to buy the guide map anyway, even though it's even more useless than the regular maps you get, because it is, you know, as the name says, it is literally a guide map. Like, it's just a sort of, like, drawing of, like, what the whole topography is like. So, the nunchucks, like, these weapons are notable in that, like, a good portion of Ryu's moves are kick-based. So, you know, like, one of your running attacks is literally doing, like, a sliding kick that trips them up. And later, we're going to get an armlet that, when you equip it, it works very well with this particular weapon, because it increases, like, the potency of those kicks.
Plus, we can now cosplay as 3 out of the 4 Ninja Turtles.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, we do have their weapons.
These are also notable for being probably the least damaging weapons in the game.
They are, but they generate high hit combos, which is helpful if you want to, like, get essence, because of, you know, it scales with how high your hit combo is. But we're switching to our staple weapons. Well, not staple weapons. We're getting the lunar out because we got some special foes waiting for us. Yep, we're not free of ninjas, but these ones are different. They got incendiary shurikens, and they are hated rivals of the Hayabusa clan. these are the Black Spider Ninja. And, well, in the scope of this game, they're effectively bit players, but they actually gain more and more relevance in the series as the games go on. And going through that, we've got an upgrade item that lets us add an extra Nympho slot. So now we got 2 opportunities to just burn things to a crisp if we want.
Like spiders.
Yeah, they deserve it.
Well, they tried to light you on fire, so...
Yeah, and we'll be able to light them on fire in the same way, like, once we get a hold of their tools a little while from now. But yeah, these are, like, third on, like, the totem pole of ninja enemies, and, you know, even on this difficulty for most people, it'll be the most challenging.
Dressed in black garb act with wicked intent in Tyrone. They are members of the Black Spider clan, and they act behind the scenes to hinder our progress. Do not let them leave Tyrone alive.
Well, she sent the hit out.
Gotta take them all out.
Yeah, I mean, like, and she's not even a Hayabusa ninja, so, like, even her clan knows that, like, the Black Spiders are complete shits.
Everybody hates them. I don't know what they did.
Well, I mean, for whatever reason, like, the Hayabusa clan, just by their history, has the most right to, like, hate the Black Spider, just because they are eternal rivals. But, I mean, Ayane's whole deal is, like, she's not even that... She doesn't even need to be that invested in what Ryu is doing, so long as she provides the support to make sure he doesn't die.
Yeah, she's just kind of going around watching what we're doing and throwing stuff. That was a lot of essence.
Yeah, that's quite a lot. But yeah, she is very much the observer, and I imagine that's because, well, this is before Dead or Alive won by about 2 years, and like by this point she's already been like moved on to the, I guess, like the shadow sect of like her ninja clan, which do. You know, ninja clans are already meant to be pretty secretive, but Ayane and Kasumi's clan in particular has 2 sides, with one being even more secretive than the other. And I guess because of how young she is, they're like, you know what, you look after this guy who's clearly older and more experienced than you. Maybe you can learn something.
Considering how capable of a fighter she was in the Dead or Alive series, it'd be kind of nice if she'd pitch in every once in a while.
Well, not in this game, but around Sigma 2, like, she gets her due and is actually a playable character. But yeah, this is our first journal that we get from the Black Spider clan. You can read the whole thing. I have it transcribed in a post in the thread, but you know, basically talking about a mysterious woman that's caught his eye, and what I believe to be like a pretty pivotal mantra of the Black Spider clan, which is perseverance, patience, which, you know, it could either be, you know, them seeing their goal to the end, or trying very desperately not to be distracted by the guiles of a woman. Because those words are being said like in reference to whoever this lady is that ninja had seen.
You came close to this a second ago, and I can't remember. Can you, with the guillotine throw, can you throw enemies into each other?
I believe that it doesn't do damage to them, but it does kind of like stagger or push them out of the way somewhat.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that is kind of a garish neon sign.
It is. I mean, it's pretty obvious.
You have a ticket for the party? No. I'm sorry, sir, but you're gonna need one to get in.
I'm just holding back my laughter, like, pretty hard, just because there is no way not to kind of chuckle at this scene, no matter how serious it is. I mean, like, you are a ninja, and the only thing that is stopping you from proceeding is this bouncer that says you don't have a ticket. And apparently is immune to arrows.
He's intangible. He's secretly Martian Manhunter.
That explains everything.
Oh,
A true ninja must always pay attention to his surroundings. Carelessness is unacceptable.
Don't tell me what to do, damn it.
she could have thrown you a ticket.
Nah, but instead she just points us to this flyer that tells us where we can get a ticket. Gonna have to pay another visit to Muramasa. First, save for good measure.
Well, he's getting old. He doesn't need to go to the party.
And now,
I have brought a legendary weapon to Tairan. A weapon known only by a select few. I have hidden it in a dark alley, in a location where only a ninja will be able to reach it. I suggest that you find it and make use of it.
you know what it is. I know what it is. This is like a projectile weapon that I've had to tell myself many times not to rely on for the duration of this playthrough. But I'll still show it off at points. The Windmill Shuriken.
So good.
This thing is so good. It is basically like a boomerang and is also like another kind of sly reference to the original Ninja Gaiden trilogy where you had a sub-weapon that had a kind of shuriken-like boomerang. Also, evidence right here of the time when Tomonobu Itagaki was a huge Xbox fanboy. So much so that he was willing to like make his development studio, be an Xbox exclusive developer. Put in a prototype Xbox that heals Ryu and refills his Nimbo slots whenever you use it. It's a nice little thing they threw in.
Which also made this spot a pretty nice place to farm for a bit of extra essence if you needed it in the original.
It definitely was.
I do love the little detail that you have of you can see the Windmill Shuriken attached to his gauntlet, folded up.
Very, very sleek, very portable weapon. So yeah, I'm gonna be basically turning in the scarabs that I had like picked up during this time and upgrade my weapons. Like I'm pretty sure that you have to buy at least something when you're at Muramasa's in order for him to give you the ticket. But that armlet, that is what I was talking about earlier, the armlet of potency. You use that with your nunchucks and it beefs it up pretty good. Upgrade Lunar to level 2, which changes its appearance quite a bit. And another level to the wooden sword. Also, I buy the armlet of the moon even though I'm not really going to use it because it just increases your defense by 5% and is pretty useless if you know what you're doing.
Yeah, the best defense is to just not get hit.
Yeah. Also, just to test it, apparently Muramasa is also evil. Not evil, damn, I meant immortal. So, yeah, further proving my theory that all video game merchants have to be like some sort of omniscient gods.
You might have been right on both counts. I can't really think of anybody that was immortal that was not evil by some point eventually.
I don't know. He's too kind of an old man, just throughout the series.
Maybe.
Although it does beg the question, like you use essence that you collect, which is literally the essence of the enemies that you killed, and you give it to him as payment for these weapon upgrades and items. What does he do with that essence?
So he's immortal.
We're just like prolonging his life even further.
Yeah, why not?
So yeah, we're making good use of our kick moves now that we got the armlet equipped. But another thing that it does is that it also increases the potency of your guillotine throws. So throwing them against the wall, even more powerful. It's a good way of balancing out this weapon's limited strength. And we're at the end of the chapter now.
Guess the party's over.
Yeah, because, well, someone crashed it. And there we have Ninja Gaiden's primary heroine? She honestly doesn't do that much outside of a few things. She's just around.
I think she likes us.
I'm Rachel, hunter and slayer of fiends.
So that was a fiend.
You don't see them much nowadays. It's hard to believe they were ever human, isn't it?
Human?
Anyone with susceptibility to the curse, whether they are a saint or a sinner, can succumb to it and become a fiend.
So what does that make you?
Complex. And you?
I'm looking for a greater fiend named Oku. Do you know him?
Why are you looking for him?
I'm going to kill him.
You have no idea what you're up against, do you? If he could be killed, I would have done it myself long ago. He was the one who took my sister from me. It's gonna be a busy night.
You seem to have quite a way with the ladies, my friend. Don't mind me, I'm just passing by. By the way, good luck with that Doku guy. Sounds like you're going to need it. Oh, and I know Rachel quite well. She'll be just fine.
Well, new characters and new developments. That's it for chapter 4. No, nothing fancy at the end of it. I mean, but we had 3 chapters in a row that ended with a boss. Might as well give us a break. And head ninja, just because the requirements for this are a bit strict. But that's it. See you in Sigma.
Later.